All right. So we're going to talk through, we're going to do an exercise at the very end for that mobility on demand, but we have a few other accessibility workflow tools that we'll talk about just very quickly. So the accessibility workflow tools, so there are two of them where they communicate access to jobs, people, and land use with a single number. Current or future year networks and socioeconomic projections apply. There is comparative reporting between scenario accessibility summaries. So these two tools are the Access to Transit dashboard and the Access via Transit dashboard. So Access to Transit is WAC's access to transit reporting by route type, mode, service levels, or user-defined routes. And Access via Transit is the average network access per transit trip to population, employment, and land use per census block group and at the system level. So this is like an accessibility through the network summarization where it's summarizing access relative to census block groups to all other block groups within the network given a certain transit travel time. And this is just WAC access and transit. They both have a dashboard associated with them. So this is the Access to Transit dashboard. This is just showing for the HART 2018 15-minute headways. This is basically in 2018, this was their existing service, and they were testing out adding more 15-minute headway routes. So this is their market where they were testing their 2027 funded 15-minute headway routes. So this was their walk markets around those 15-minute headway routes. And it gives you, in terms of the dashboard, the population, households, jobs, and income relative to that area. And this is their needs plan where they have even more of these 15-minute headway type of routes. And this is a comparison report. So the Access to Transit has a really good comparison report where you're looking at the 15-minute frequency for 2017 and 2027 and the markets that they serve in terms of population, households, and income and employment. So the Access via Transit tool is, as I mentioned, showing at the block group level where you can get to accessibility-wise through the network. So it's basically summarizing that OD matrix, but it's applying it to the block groups instead. So it's a different view on accessibility. So on average, for this is Nashville, you can get to 20% of the jobs on average for a service trip, and 10% of the people and 11.2% of the total land use on an average trip for the system. Now, at the individual block group level, that can be much higher, but on average, these are the averages for the system. And again, you can compare these out, between different scenarios. So you have a service change and a proposed. How does the accessibility improve based on our network change overall in the system? So this is actually a pretty good measure of total accessibility in the system and measuring and comparing total accessibility through across scenarios. So certainly something you might want to consider running if you're looking at, hey, are we accessing more markets? Are we getting there faster? That sort of thing, because all of that comes into play here is how fast do you get to the markets. All right, so we just want to close out everything. Everything we've done is complete at this point. We walked through all of the exercises. That is, basically the end of the training. So I would just put up our contact information. So tbest.org is where the new releases and training resources are. Also, the user guide is up there, and we have the TBest Tools GitHub repository. TBest technical support contact is me, Rodney Bunner. That you can email me from my normal email address or tbestsupport@sestransport.com. And again, our thanks for attending for everyone and sticking around. It's a big full day 2-day training. So we appreciate you taking the time. Hopefully you will get to use T-Best in your daily activities. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can give us. Tara Bracken, as we mentioned at the beginning, is the FDOT Transit Planning Manager in charge of T-Best management at the DOT. So you can also contact her as well. I will be sending out an evaluation form to everyone. You can just fill it out online and just submit it, and we'll get the results back. So we appreciate you filling that in as well. But with that, that's really the end of our training. We appreciate everyone being here. We will stick around for a few minutes and answer questions. But other than that, appreciate you taking the time and wish everyone a good day.